decent move. All right. A great conversation this morning on Birds 365. Let's bring our boy in here now. Zander Krause, Big Z, on a big day here with the Eagles signing Zack Baun. 3 years, $51 million. And the most important number, obviously, is the 34 guaranteed. The 34 guaranteed is going to drop the $17 million annually per. And this is where you could potentially still get Myles Garrett. And there's no question. The Eagles are now in the front row with the best odds to land Myles Garrett. That's what everybody around the league is saying. I mean, this guy looks like he's making a team that could be even better than what or personnel at least, than what they even had a year ago. Zander, your takeaway here on this thing here, 3 years, $51 million.
Are you ready, Sileo? Are you ready, Sileo, for year 2 of the no-holes defense, which is now formulating in the Howie Roseman lab? Well, how do I feel about it? I feel incredible. This is the one move, Sills, I wanted, and I think it was obvious, all right? I think the move was obvious, but Eagles fans are fair to look at this move before it happened to be like, is it going to get done? You look at the offensive side. You look at the contract. You look at Howie's history with linebackers. It was fair to wonder what was going on with this move and how he got it done. It's a well-earned deal. I think he paid him very handsomely, which is well-deserved. And again, Sills, you said it yesterday when they signed Saquon. The rest of the league is looking around at this football team, at this front office and saying, how the hell do I get to that organization? How the hell do I get drafted to Philly? How the hell do I get on that defense? How the hell do I play for that general manager? And it's a credit to the way they do business right now. I think you said it perfectly. They're playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers. And the no-holes defense coming back for year 2, baby.
How about this, too? Myles Garrett put a statement out when he demanded that he get released and said, I want to go to Canton. That didn't necessarily mean it had to go through Cleveland. I want to go to Canton. If you're there sitting there watching this and you still got $80 million on the contract and you see how this guy is building his football team and the way that they're doing this, they're doing one thing differently that New England never did. You know what that was? New England never fucking paid top-end players. They got rid of them. This guy's paying them. They're doing one thing and then the other thing, and they're creating an environment here that you're right. If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm like, fuck, man. You mean to tell me if I roll into Philadelphia and I have a superstar year and I give that guy 18 sacks, he's not going to bump me 2 extra years like he just did Barkley and give me an extension as well and up my pay? Dude, and I'm playing with better players?
Right.
I'll do that deal. I'll restructure. I'll do what we need to make this happen. I'm telling you here, Zander, you get Baun in the building. Now you've got Smith. You've got your front. Dude, Moro Jomo. Okay. Hey, Milton, see him. You put him there. Then you put Garrett on the other side of him. You got Baun. I would like Burks back because I think he's a good safety net in case of what happens.
Yeah. I think that's a little less likely now. Burks back.
Depending on what that money is, man.
Yeah, just think. They just gave more money.
He ain't a $7 million guy.
No, but is he a $5 million guy on the open market? Probably. With the way he played in the Super Bowl, you know how teams are, Sills. I mean, the benefit of that last game, brother. That's how it's going to work. But I just saying, I don't expect him to be back now. But again, this team is in Sills. It's March 5th, bro. It's March 5th. If you're that Eagles organization, if you're a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, if you're a hater of the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to be down bad. But if you're a fan of this team, if you're a player on this team, if you're a guy in that front office, you got to be feeling good on March 5th, man. You got Baun done. You got an extension for Barkley that freed up cap room and took care of the number one player in the NFL basically last year. You got a lot more room to go. You still have all your draft picks. The draft is in front of you. And again, if you lost Baun, you could say reasonably there's zero chance that this defense is the same as they were last year. Now you got guys on the front coming back and Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo. You got guys in the second level coming back with Zack Baun, Nakobe Dean. We'll see about Nakobe Dean's injury. You go to the secondary. Both your safeties are returning and your 2-star cornerbacks in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are returning. Right now, The only fluctuation is that second defensive tackle, which we know it's probably going to be a Jomo, that defensive end, which they're probably going to go to the draft, or obviously the trade for Myles Garrett's out there as well, and then replacing Darius Slay. Like, you got to feel good on March 5th right now about what this team has done to knock some of the pins down and start to, cross their T's and dot their I's on rebuilding this roster. Because, look, we are the defending Super Bowl champions, but Sileo is a former player. Anybody who's played any sport really at a high level knows when that clock turns, it's a new year, man. You got to rebuild that thing. You got to have a new championship. Your championship team in 2025, 2026 will look different than it did in 2024, 2025. And it doesn't happen by accident. So right now, in my estimation, they're doing all the things necessary to return. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the draft and free agency and the rest of the offseason.
They're playing the fifth quarter of the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, such a good way to put it.
They're just in the fifth quarter right now. They've never let out and off the gas pedal.
Yeah.
I mean, they have just, what did he take, a day off? Maybe the parade, and then he was back in it again. I mean, it's such a winning mentality, man. I mean, the things they're doing right now, that it just shows you, if you're a free agent and you're watching them, what they're doing, you're going like, man, look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys look like they're in molasses. And the Eagles look like they're on jet skis. I mean, they're just running by people right now, signing their own players, freeing. Dude, this guy is signing his players, freeing cap space up, and he's putting the league on notice going, well, let me tell you something. If you fuckers are still going to sleep, I'll grab that guy in Cleveland, and then you know what? I'll put you in a sleeper hold for the next 3 years.
Yeah, we had Mike Gill on this morning. He compared it to how we take the Dodgers approach, where they win the World Series, and then they go out and get the Cy Young winner, and the best pitcher in baseball. It's like, I don't know. Maybe he will continue to push like that. But boy, remember when they won the Super Bowl, and I was obviously feeling good as an Eagle fan after they win the Super Bowl, but. We talked about this is potentially the golden era of the Eagles. We have 49ers fans in our chat right now who talk about the 49ers glory days till they're blue in the face. Niners, about time to get another one. All right, but you talk about the Cowboys of the 90s and that dynasty they had. I'm really starting to believe, and I did believe it, but I think this is the Eagles' time, man. I think with the way Howie Roseman is operating right now, with the way the team is built in terms of the youth on the roster, and not only youth that's playing as well as they are, I think that everything is in front of this organization, and we could be talking about a couple Super Bowls, three, 4 Super Bowls, if they play their cards right. Obviously, that's a big if, but I'm just saying, I think everything is set up for this team to dominate for the next couple of years, and I think they're the class of the NFC by Sills. Look at the NFC East. I mean, Commanders look good. I'll give them that, but Cowboys, I feel like the Cowboys are in oblivion. The New York Football Giants, with the New York Giants, they shouldn't even be an NFL team.
They're irrelevant.
They're irrelevant. I mean, I just think we're so far ahead of everybody right now in the NFC, and we're operating at a higher level. So every year that margin, is growing a little bit more, and teams are going to keep up. Teams are going to make moves as well. But, if we stay disciplined like we have, the more moves that they make, the more advantage they create for themselves. And so, real quick, I just want to read this to you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The list of people that Howie has gotten done. I mean, you go back to 2023, and I can't find it, but I'll try and rattle it off the top of my head. You go back to 2023, they signed Jalen Hurts to a $255 million deal. They signed Lane Johnson to a $90 or $80 million extension. You go to 2024, A.J. Brown got done for $90 million. Devontae Smith got done for $75 million. Jordan Mailata got an extension. Landon Dickerson got done for $80 million. Now you go ahead to 24, Saquon Barkley, Zack Baun, they just continue to do things year after year. And even when it feels like at times, is the bill going to come due? Is it, are you going to get squeezed? Is eventually the pipe going to burst? It feels like they just, again, make a move to right the ship.
Dude, the guy who makes that thing continue to move and the fuel to the Eagles is not Roseman. It's Laurie.
Yeah.
It's the owner. He is the only guy. I don't know, dude. I got to tell you, there's certain teams in the league. Like I've said this before. Are you trying to win, or are you trying to win the bullshit game where you're fooling your fans just so that they can buy season tickets and them. You have a 9-8 season and you're kind of hanging around and you're using it as like a business way of you making money. Or are you really trying to win? Are you trying to win championships? I think there's 7-8 teams in the league that are really trying to win championships.
Right. Might be
and
even less than
this
that.
guy here wants, dude, you know how you know he wants to win? It's the money he's putting up front.
Right.
Dude, the 34 million is the number. The 51's really not. The 31 is. And bro, I mean, by the way, like I said yesterday, he went and got the Barkley, Slay, and Bradbury, created the money, and the next day they paid him. This is what he did.
It's amazing.
Created the space. Get this. Do you know that he probably didn't really look? Nobody in their right mind with any football sense thinks that the Saquon Barkley 2-year extension. Hey, man, you're really a good dude. I fucking love you. Here's an extra fucking. That's not how that works. You know what they did? I promise you, when all the NFLPA numbers come out and the contracts and the T's and the I's are dotted and crossed, I guarantee you there's going to be $7 million in cap space or like something like that.
I know.
That created this room here for Baun to be signed.
Yeah, and the other thing that Howie does that people don't realize is in all these big contracts you see with Saquon yesterday, with Baun today, with Jalen Hurts, with A.J. Brown, with Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, all these contracts, he works in a clause that the people are never going to lose money, but he has the ability to rework them at any time, basically without their even approval, because he can just bend money, move it around, update it. The owner's willing to convert it into cash bonuses and give it to them up front. They have a lot of ways. So, I always say to people who are in the chat, we have X amount of cap space, this amount of year, X. Don't even look
Relevant.
at it.
Yeah,
it's irrelevant because Howie is going to dance and shake and bake around all of those things like you saw him do this last week, and he's going to get it done if he needs to get it done. So we're in a good spot right now. The team is young. I think you're filled with not only good players, but I think the right players. I think you have championship
players.
I think championship DNA players, man, that want to be in the city, that play hard. Yeah, that's a Herb
the
Brooks.
Right players.
Remember Herb Brooks? I'm not looking for the best players, Craig. I'm looking for the right ones. Well, we got good ones in Philly, and we got the right ones, as it seems right now. So good spot for this Eagles team to be in.
You agree with me on this, that Baun could have said in his agent, that's a really nice offer. But let me get out there on the market, because if Roseman's going to pay him 17,
right, someone's going to pay him more.
Someone's going to pay him 20, okay? Because they have to stay up with this guy. You know what he did? They both went, this guy saved me. This guy helped me. This guy made me. And I got to think Vic Fangio had an influence on both sides. Hey, I want you here. And then the player saying, I want to play for you. And then he tells the agent, we could get more money. We probably could have got 55, 60, maybe 58, somewhere out there in that range. No, I'm going to stay here because I'm in an environment. And you know what that does? If I'm a free agent and I hear that and I watch that, I go, man, Baun could have made 20.
Yeah.
He didn't want to make 20. It's almost the Patriot effect. I'm going to stay here because the quarterback, the situation, we got a winning environment. We've won all these games. You know what? I'll take $2 million, $3 million less, and I'll stay here. By the way, don't think I haven't forgotten what Smitty did a year ago by signing that hometown cooking. Because now, guess what you're getting? You're getting hometown cooking. This is the second hometown cooking deal in 2 years. The Devontae Smith deal and the Baun deal. Guys want to play in that building. Those two guys say, hey, you know what? All good. I'll stay here. And hey, don't worry. Put that 5th-year option in. I mean, dude, you now have made Philadelphia a place where you want to play. Do I want to play in Dallas? No. Here's the places I would play in the NFC outside of Philly. The Rams. I don't know. Rams and Philly. Detroit? No.
Detroit,
Texas.
maybe.
the taxes up there.
Well,
Fuck.
Philly's not great either in taxes. But let me bring you back just to I thought what you said there was great with Zack Baun and wanting to play here. And I'll bring you guys back to a quote that Zack Baun gave on locker room cleanout day. All right, this is courtesy of Dave Zangaro. It's revived my love for the game, honestly. I think it was dwindling there in New Orleans for a while. It revived my love for this and the passion I have for this game, and that's talking about the 2024 season in Philly. And while I agree with Sileo, Vic Fangio as a part, while I agree the team as a part, while I agree the success as a part, there's another thing that I think that has a part here that maybe people in the media won't give credit for. I think the fans of this city have a part. People love to shit on the fan base of this city because of our passion, but when you're a guy like Zack Baun and you show up and you leave it all on the field and you play your heart out and you play the way he did and commit the way he did, there is no fan base in the world that will make you feel better than the Philadelphia Eagles fan base. I'm telling you right now, I felt it when we were all down at the parade celebrating on Broad Street. When you play for this city will fight for you like nobody else before. Now, if you don't play, we're gonna make you our bitch. We're gonna slap you back and forth. But when you play for this city, man, this city makes it special, and I think that has an effect as well, man. To win and to win in a city like this, it makes it special. I think.
I think there's something in there to that. Like when you hear people who play in Buffalo, or when you hear people who play in Pittsburgh, they talk, or Green Bay, they talk like that too. But don't underestimate the environment of winning.
Yeah. And
how important and intoxicating that can become when you're in a winning environment like that and you're winning like all these games. And remember something, you come from New Orleans, dude, you were nobody in the building. All of a sudden you walk into this. Look at Zack Baun's life in the last 15 months. He went from a $3.5 million contract, special teams, outside edge rusher, maybe in Philly, and they had signed Devin White to be the guy.
Right.
Devin White was supposed to be Zack Baun. And guess what ended up happening? They go, no, we'll put him in there. And in 15 months, this guy has an all-pro season. He wins the Super Bowl, and he's rewarded with a 3-year, $51 million deal. Zander, I've never heard of that.
It's incredible.
I've never seen anything like that.
I was just talking to John, and John's like, the story back at the start of training camp or middle of training camp, getting closer to the start of the season, and Zack Baun walks up to Vic Fangio, and he's like, at what point am I going to be able to kind of rush the passer? That's like what I do. When are you going to? And Vic just kind of laughed and was just like, that opportunity might not come. So it's pretty amazing. This whole story, man, with Zack Baun is incredible. And maybe this is the Philly in me, but, the one thing I do love about a lot of the players on this team right now, and I know you're right where you shouldn't fall in love with players, we're Eagle fans. I mean, even the owner, right? Everybody, the Eagles brand will outlast all of these people. Every last one of them, it was here before all of them, and it'll be here well after they're gone and we're gone. So the brand is the most important part, but I do love some of the players that we have on this locker room in terms of, dude, think about it. Like, you've given Jalen his fair share of shit. I think you've given him a lot of kudos since he's earned it. But, it's a Philly story, man. It gets doubted at every level. Benched in the national title game. Told constantly you're never going to win with the way you win. Told constantly the way you play football is not enough. Told you can't do it this way. Boom, and he prevails and does what he does. Saquon Barkley, sent out the pasture in New York. Boom, comes here, and is a leader in Philly. Zack Baun, never thought he would be this. Comes to Philly, embraces it, wears his heart on his sleeve, plays hard for this city, gets rewarded with a massive contract, and is talked about now as one of the best defensive players in the league. This team is filled with players that embody what this city is all about. And it's not all about the underdog. It's about the passion that we wear. We love hard in Philly, and we fight hard in Philly, right? And I think that's a big, big thing. And this team is, credit to Howie, because I think, again, we said it earlier, I think he's got the right players for this team and for this city.
Let me show you something here, what you just said. Let's go down that list. Hurts, second rounder, benched. Barkley, thrown away from New York. AJ, didn't want to give him $6 million in Tennessee. Devontae, is he too small? Goddard, injured often. Okay. They liked him. They still took him in the second. Not much of a story there. But here's Mulata, 7th round pick.
Right.
Came from nowhere.
How about the Becton story, dude? How about the
Let me go down the list. Dickerson, second round. Probably pissed off he didn't go in the first. Becton was thrown away in New York. Here he is, all pro. You got Jordan Davis. Okay, was he that guy? I don't know, but he surely helped me win a Super Bowl. Jalen Carter was in a situation where somebody died and they questioned his character. I don't anymore. Okay, Dean played a ton of football last year. Questioned, played great. Zack Baun thrown away. Nobody knew who he was. Gardner Johnson was sitting on the Saints roster as a corner and not used and only used in special teams.
And I'll add a couple more.
Reed Blankenship, not drafted. I mean, Slay or Cooper DeJean. They didn't draft him in the first round because he's a white dude.
Ready? How about this, too? How about Nick Sirianni, who was told constantly, you're a clown as a head coach, your flower analogy, stupid. Fuck, you shouldn't be the coach of this football team, even as early as this season, right? And he answers the bell and comes out. How about Howie Roseman? You get tossed into the broom. Get out of here, guy. You don't know football. You stunk. You fucked this whole thing up. Go to the broom closet. You can't draft defense. Look what he's done.
And the owner sent him there.
Look what he's done.
And the owner sent him there.
Right. But I'm saying every level, coaches, there's a lot of Philly on this team, man. And I think that's why so many people are so many Philly fans are attached to this team. And I really understand it. I really do. And, again, credit to what they've done. Now they got to sustain it, by the way. This is all just talk. I mean, if you don't go out and put your best foot forward on the field, it's not going to matter. But they're doing everything right now.
Let me tell you this. If I fill your gas tank up and you can't drive across the country, that's on the players here. Roseman's doing his gig right now.
Yep.
So whatever happens here, dude, how he doesn't coach, how he's not part of that. But I'll tell you one thing. He's doing everything to make sure that, get this, Zander, that you have all the tools to cross the ocean and get to the other side. That's what he's done. And you know what, too, he's doing? He's trying to upgrade the goddamn team.
Yeah.
Because if you get an edge at 32, the minimum, you're going to upgrade your pass rush at 32 with a draft pick. Who knows he doesn't move up into 15 and grab the kid from BC? Or I don't think he's going to get the kid Mike Green. I found out that there's some bullshit about his past.
Yeah, I saw that.
He may not grab that kid. That kid's probably one of the better guys. By the way, hit the like button. We're going to read the supers here in a second. But, I mean, dude, he's winning the offseason. This guy's having a Super Bowl offseason right now. Again,
he's winning the offseason, man. I mean, it's just impressive what's going on. I mean, let's just run, real quick. I just saw this pop up on my feed. All right. Here's the top cap hits, all right, for the Eagles in 2025 right now. Number one is your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, $21.8 million cap hit.
Which ain't dick.
Which ain't nothing. Look at what Dak Prescott's is. Look at what other quarterbacks in the league. I mean, come on. A.J. Brown's 17.5. Lane Johnson, 17.4. Jordan Mailata's 15.3. Slay is 13.7. Goddard's 11.8. Devontae Smith is 7.5 million with that contract, and Bryce Huff 7.5. So, again, every contract you hear, man, Howie has a way to manipulate it to make it team friendly. And this team is in a good spot right now. All right. That is one thing for sure.
It's 70-30 Slay's back.
I love that. I love that news. I love that you talked to Drew today and you brought that up earlier on the show. By the way, Sileo, the most connected man I've ever met literally in my life. The guy just knows everybody. I love that. You know what? I really think that while I love this youth movement and I love all the youth on this team, I think in a way, at least in my perspective, it makes these older guys even more valuable to me where, I'm not saying I need them to be all pro players, but I value that presence in the locker room, that guy that's been around the block more times than you, that guy that can teach you something, that guy that can show you the way somebody's running around. I value that. So if Slay's going to come back, man, I love it. I put it out on Twitter today. I'm doing the deal with 1 year, $8 million. I don't know if Slay will take that deal, but that's what I'd be willing to do. And we'll see what ends up happening.
How about this? Also, is there a better option than bringing back Brandon Graham for depth?
Yeah, I mean, did you see the news that came out today on him? Derek Gunn reported today that Brandon Graham actually re-tore his triceps in the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I haven't seen that confirmed, but I know Derek Gunn. He's very close with Brandon
he's
Graham.
very close to him. Yeah.
Very close. I mean, they're like really good friends. So like their families hang out and stuff. So again, I'm not ever going to say D Gunn's wrong on it. So that's crazy news. But I do wonder, because I was thinking the same thing you were for a second. Like, yo, BG, I don't need you to play more than 20, 25% of the snaps, but are you willing to come back and, be a leader on this football team? But I don't know. I think that might change it. That might change his perspective, the team's perspective. But look, at $4 million or $5 million, I would do that deal in a heartbeat. Now, I love Brandon Graham, and I value that type of leadership. Other people will say, no, don't bring him back. We need to get Jalen Hunt. We need to get other guys out there. I think the team is so much youth. You don't need. But
I'm not looking at the love at. I'm looking at what the player performed at last year. And when he was on the field, he was, dude, the last game he got hurt, he was the best guy in the field.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about him being a productive dude. And by the way, if that guy got 20 snaps, you're telling me you don't think that guy could perform?
Oh, he would perform
20 snaps at his age. Now, look, 65 that's a tough putt at 35. I get it.
Right.
But you're talking about 15 to 20 snaps at $4 million. Is there a better option out there than that? I don't.
I agree. And look at it as roots. Not everybody has to be the fruit. Not everybody has to be, the playmaker all the time. Like, you need things. There needs to be the glue in the locker room, the people that hold the thing together, and the people that, are more than meet the eye. I like to use that term because, I think you do a really good job at talking about some of those things. But, and I say this with respect to people who report on the game, but I think reporters miss on some of that stuff where, it's all numbers. It's all everything is statistics and and again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, I think there is an element of this game. Anybody who's played organized sports knows, there's something there's something about the way you build a team, the guys you have in the room, the way the camaraderie is, the way the team fights for one another. And I think all that stuff matters. And I think Brandon Graham is one of the best people for that. And I'd say the same thing about Slay. I questioned that with Slay early in his time here in Philly, and he's proven me wrong. Those guys love him in that locker room, and I think he'd be valuable for that reason as well.
Grant proved me wrong last year. He was about as productive as you could possibly get. And then when he even got hurt, it benefited the other kids here. Let me throw one thing out here. And again, would you ever consider bringing Hassan Reddick back?
Nah.
And putting him out there? Okay, then what's the option? Really, you want to take would you want Reddick and Nolan Smith as your edge rushers? If you don't get Garrett, would you rather go in the draft at 32, or would you rather have a guy like that who could give you 1 or 2 years and give you 10 sacks?
Well, here's my thing on Reddick, because I'm not disagreeing with you on, you're going to need some production and relying on the 32nd overall pick is not really the best, spot to do that. I certainly agree with that. But, there's a couple other names that I think make a little bit more sense. And Reddick, it's about what we just talked about for me. It's not about the play. I don't think he fits this locker room anymore. I really don't. I think this team has taken on a new personality. I think he's allowed to be selfish. I think he's a little bit of a selfish player. Again, he's entitled to that. I mean, he can do that. He wants to get his money, but I don't really know if he fits this locker room anymore. And if you are going to go the free agency route at edge, I'd almost rather go with a younger name that you feel like, maybe has some upside. I know that's dangerous too, because you just do that with Bryce Huff, but
he's only 29.
What about a guy? Who's that guy in New York? I brought up his name, Azeez Ojulari. What about a guy like that?
Okay.
Kayvon Chason, a guy like that.
These names are wrong, but let me ask you this. Didn't you think that Gardner Johnson, when he left, was a cancer in the locker room? Everybody in Philadelphia media said he was a fucking absolute cancer in the locker room. He goes to Detroit, talks shit on the Philly fans. They welcome him back. He fit right in. Why couldn't that dynamic work with Hassan Reddick?
Yeah, and both Super Bowl appearances we had in the last 3 years. I mean,
correct.
Gardner Johnson was on those teams. Now, I think that's a fair comp. I just don't think they're the same guy. I think Reddick is a little bit different, and I wouldn't go down that road. I don't think Howie will either, to be honest with you. But
no, I don't. I'm just saying you're looking for options.
You're looking for production at a good price. I hear what you're saying, and he can be a productive guy. There's no doubt about it. We've seen it, but I'm just saying with where I stand, and I'm not the arbiter of what makes a good decision in the NFL. Maybe they will go down that road. I wouldn't go down the Reddick route.
How about this, dude? What if that guy fucking Bryce Huff has 15 sacks next year?
No, not happening.
Hey, but no, wait a minute. What if Bryce McMullen has 15 sacks next year?
Yeah, right. I've been busting on Johnny Mack about that. But no, look, we'll see. I mean, here's the thing is that Bryce.
Is Becton next?
I think so. You get Becton done, man. I don't give a fuck who they draft. Dude, they do whatever you want. I'll talk about it, but do whatever you want. I mean, I feel pretty good if you're going to get Becton back too. So
what were you going to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. Nothing. I was just kind of finishing up talking. You know, I'm enjoying the conversation.
What do you think Vic Fangio had on this Baun deal?
I think a lot. I think Vic Fangio probably is one of those things like, you know, when somebody commands so much that they don't really have to say anything, you know, like it's understood.
Do you think that's a reward for Vic too, getting that deal?
I think it's a reward that was left unsaid. It was, I gave you guys that most of the league probably would have done nothing with, and you gave us in Philly the #1 defense in the NFL and had Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in jail in the Super Bowl. They had no idea what to do. We're going to give you some things. We're going to throw you some bones. All right, for that. We're not making you turn chicken scratch into chicken soup again. Now, you're going to have to do it in some spots probably, but, you know, we're not going to make you do it completely again.
But I feel okay with that now.
I do too. Look, I told you why. I mean, again, going to be a change at edge rusher, no doubt. But do you feel like they can manage it better with Hunt coming back, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Moro Ojomo? I do. There's going to be some change at linebacker, maybe with the Nakobe Dean injury. Oren Burke's out, but do you feel better about handling it with Zach Baun and Nakobe Dean back in the room? I do. Might be some change in the secondary, but Cooper DeJean's coming back. Quinyon Mitchell's coming back. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship. Yes, they have changed, but do you feel better about them handling it with those guys coming back? I certainly do. So I think they're just in a good spot, man. I think they checked off the big questions, and now you're kind of, all right, fill in the blanks. And you still have to do a good job at that, but I think you're past the point of, like, dude, if they didn't have Baun back, it would be fair for you to come up here every day on your show and say, we haven't seen it with this defense. What are we expecting of this defense? It would be fair. But now I think you have enough guys coming back. You're like, okay, can they be the #1 again? And if not, what's the score?
The triangle's back.
Right.
The two guys in front and the two backers are back because they're under contract now. Your two backers are back. And you're strong up the middle with Gardner Johnson.
Ashes are rubbing all over my Kango. Oh, no.
Hey, bro, I mean, the heart of your defense is back.
Yeah.
Right up the middle, okay? I think you can get away with edge rushers. You proved it. You didn't have a superstar edge rusher this year, and you won the Super Bowl, and you didn't even have to blitz in the Super Bowl, and you took apart the best quarterback since Brady.
I'm ready to make an edge rusher prediction, too.
Go ahead. We think kid from BC?
No, not in the draft. I'm talking about a guy that's on the roster. I know losing Josh Sweat, which is what I presume is going to happen. I know it's a big deal. I think Josh is a good player. He's a guy that gave you a lot of snaps. But, you know, I was looking at some of the game tape. I've been looking at it all through. I've been going through each game, looking at individual players and stuff. And I'm ready to say that I think Jalix Hunt can provide to you what Josh Sweat provided to you. I'm not saying he's going to be Myles Garrett or Nolan Smith or a great edge runner, but I think he can provide to you 6 to 8 sacks, a boatload of pressures, and a versatile edge that you can drop in coverage and do different things with Vic Fangio, where he's not going to, you know, be stuck in one system with that guy on the field. He's a versatile player, and I'm ready to predict Jalix Hunt is going to make a big jump forward next year. I think what he did this year was pretty damn impressive, coming from, what was it, Houston Baptist or Houston Christian University, whatever that was, a former safety. I think what he did this year was impressive, and I'm ready to say that I think you're going to get better production out of him than we're expecting at this point. I think they're still going to add an edge rusher, but I think he's going to be a pleasant surprise and going to be a great depth piece this year.
And you're saying this with the guy who had in the postseason a sack and a half, and in the regular season, he had a sack and a half. But again, that doesn't necessarily tell the story, because when I saw him, man, you're using the eyeball test, which to me is the best test to use. And also, you know, Zander, I thought he was smaller. 6'3", 252 is not horrible.
And I mean, you know what I think too? You know how you watch some guys come in the league?
I didn't think he was that. I didn't
Yeah.
know I thought he was like 6'1"ish, 6'2"ish. He's 6'3". That's a bigger dude than I thought.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be one of those guys too that builds into their body. You see some guys come into the league and like their first year, you're like, holy shit, they're like a different guy. Like TJ Edwards did that. Obviously, Nolan Smith, I think, has done that, has grown into his body. I think you're going to see that with Hunt, and he's
23, so he's pretty young.
Freaky speed. He's got a lot of strength. He's athletic as hell. Can be dropped in coverage. I think he's going to be a good player. I really do. I think he's going to be a really good player. And add that in. Like here's the way I look at it. This year you had Josh Sweat and Nolan Smith as your two main edge rushers for most of the year. Your depth pieces were Jalix Hunt, Bryce Huff, and Brandon Graham. All right, Josh Sweat's out. Can Jalix Hunt and the 32 overall pick make up for the production loss in Sweat? I think they can. If it's not Jalix Hunt and the draft pick, is it Bryce Huff and Jalix Hunt? Is it Bryce Huff and the draft pick? And then you have Jalix back up Nolan, right, and Vic, and then maybe another guy they'll probably bring in to be a rotational piece. But I feel pretty good about that combination of players being able to make up for what you lose in Josh Sweat, which, let's be real, he was a good player, but he wasn't insane.
No, he got lost in the huddle sometimes.
Yeah, he wasn't insane. Like, he wasn't that much of a difference maker. So I feel pretty good about it.
Okay, if you're bringing Slay back, are you going to rotate DeJean and Slay, or are you going to go Isaiah and Slay out there on the perimeter? Are you going to do Steve? Are you going to do that out on the perimeter?
Dude, train your dog.
I'm gonna, man. She's supposed to be taking care of this guy. Hey, so how are you handling that rotation? Are you going to put Cooper DeJean in that rotation, or are you going to keep him there at nickel and you're not going to do that? How are you going to do that? Because I heard you the other day make a great comment. If you're going to move him to fucking corner, you need to do it now. Yeah. I don't want to move him 3 years from now. I want to do it right now. So do you put him in that rotation?
Yeah, I think this is one that you're going to have to see how the rest of the offseason plays out before you think about this. Now, I'm not saying it's not a thought now, but if they go and get a corner or they bring back Slay, I think that changes it. Because, like, if you tell me, Sills, let's say the 70% that we brought up with Slay comes true and Slay returns. Okay, I'd rather keep Cooper in the slot at that point and then have Slay rotating with maybe it's Keely Ringo, it's time to his step up, or whoever else is over there. Maybe it's Eli Ricks, whoever it might be. I feel better. Well, Isaiah's a free agent, so I'm assuming if they bring back Slay, maybe they wouldn't bring back Isaiah. I'm not sure what they would do there, but
I don't think that's going to be expensive on Rodgers, dude.
No, it's not. John thinks it's going to be like $3 million.
Yeah, me too. I don't think he's going to be. I mean, $3 million. I think he's an easy sign, and I think Isaiah's going to be loyal to the Eagles. Going, hey. Nobody else was knocking his fucking door down, dude, after that whole gambling charge, and they stuck with the guy. I mean, remember something. They took that guy down to Brazil, and they left Devin White back, and he didn't play in that first one. They liked this player.
All right, well, what scenario do you feel better about?
I think Nick likes him, too, because Nick had a relationship with him when he was there in Indianapolis. With the situation I like is, I'm going to put Slay back out there next year. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to have Slay on 3rd and long. And I'm not going to have him out there on 1st and 2nd. That eliminates Isaiah. I need a little bigger body out there if I'm going to play out there in that position out there. I'm going to try to limit his reps so that I get the kind of production that I got from BG a year ago. BG had limited reps, and he had more production. That's kind of what I want to do with him. And I'm going to do this. Occasionally, I'm going to start dropping Cooper out there to get him comfortable out there with him. I might even play Cooper DeJean in the preseason at cornerback just to see what he gets it going out there with and have him going. I think at this. I don't know he can play it. I don't know he can't play it. I want to see if he can do it, because if he can,
sure. I feel really good about Cooper being able to play outside. The question is is he most useful to this team the way it's constructed right now outside? I think that's the bigger question. I feel good about him playing outside, though. I don't know, dude. The guy's a freak athlete. I know he's a white dude, and people are having a hard time believing he can stick with wide receiver ones, but I really think he can. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I think he can, but
I think he's going to have a better career than Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to John about, somebody off the record told John wouldn't tell me who it was, but a guy who works for the Philadelphia Eagles in the scouting department told me that they evaluated Cooper DeJean better than Quinyon this year. They had him as the best corner on the football.
I thought he had more impact.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were both great.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not a knock on Quinyon.
It's not
how great Cooper was. Yeah.
You know the reason why I think he didn't win the Rookie of the Year, Cooper DeJean?
He
missed those first 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I think he would have been in that conversation with Verse.
Yeah, and think about it. He had the moments
Player of the year.
He had the moments too, like the big hit on Derrick Henry obviously was a big moment. Like the fourth down stop on Jamar Chase. Like he had everything you would need to win that award. And I think you're probably right. If he was out there earlier in the year, he maybe would have got it.
Absolutely, man. Let's get to these super chats. Great. By the way, I'll tell you this, man. I've never really said because I've not seen anything like it. I got to tell you, man, this guy Howie. I mean, he's just running circles around people right now, bro.
He's cooking, boy. He's cooking, man. He is cooking.
Guess this is what makes me say this, though. What are the other fucking teams doing? Oh, but then you got to look at it this way, right? There's not a lot to do. This free agent market and this draft, I'm sorry, guy. I'm not thrilled with it. I don't really see, unless you're going to make a superstar trade for a guy like Garrett. Now we're talking about something completely different of a sandbox. Dude, when I look at the Khalil Mack at 35, do I want that? I mean, would you want Khalil Mack at 35 years old at $18 million?
I don't know. Do you like him as a depth piece? We just talked about the edge.
Out of 20. Ain't not an $18 million.
No, I'm not giving him that. I'm talking about
That's
8
what his
million.
market value is.
Dude, if he gets that, I mean, come on, man. I mean, oh my God. Come on.
Dude, if you go to what get this. Khalil Mack's market value. I mean, Khalil Mack market value, because I would love to have him market value.
No, I think I saw it. You're right. I think I saw this on Spot Track or whatever it was.
Yeah, Spot Track. Here, get this. Here's what he's going to command this year. You ready what his market value is? 23.6.
Oh, my gosh. That's insane. Stop. I'm not giving Khalil Mack that, and Howie's not stupid.
I would give Josh Sweat the 18 if I was going to do that.
Yeah, come on. He's not getting that.
Maybe he'll get it. 23.6.
Maybe he'll get it. Let me look at what PFF has him at, because that's interesting. Khalil Mack, they have him at $22.5 million a year.
Told you.
Bro, that's crazy.
Hey, I heard him going to the Niners and shit, and I was like, wow, how much is that going to cost him? And I went, the fucking Niners don't have room for that. Signing a guy like that.
Want him either.
Who would want to do that?
Yeah, I'd rather bring back Brandon Graham for depth if you want to talk about 35-year-old dude.
I saw $23.6 million. I went, get the fuck.
Yeah, no way. No way. Mad Dio, what's up, Dio? Goddard might be next. Get his cap down to $7 million, reducing it by $6 million.
From what I understand, he has no money coming to him right now. So I don't know. Dude, I think he could be a cap. I think he could be a casualty of this whole thing where they move on from him. I mean,
you don't think they'd extend him, do you?
Would you extend a guy who misses 25% of his game every year? What number? 17? He makes 15 now.
And here's the thing is, too, he's not going to want, like, I would do like a 2-year deal maybe and then draft a tight end, and now you have some stability, and then after that 2-year period, you can go to your next tight end. But
that hurts him where you end up moving off.
Yeah, I just don't know if Goddard will want that, because Goddard probably can go and get a bigger contract from somebody in the open market for longer term.
Oh, so he'd be the number 1 tight end on the market, not that.
Yeah, season. So I don't know. I don't know, Dio. We'll see. I mean, look, Dio, this has been my whole point. He follows up who you're replacing him with. Dio, this is what I said to Sileo yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not the biggest Goddard guy either, but what's the alternative right now? There's not really a guy that you're going to replace him with that'd be better. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Ramir checks in. Dan on his Denzel wave right now. Jake. I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
All right, Ramir. Try again. I'm sorry,
Thank
brother.
you.
Ramir again. Dan on his Denzel rave right now. Jack. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Ramir.
Hey, dude, talk like a fucking champion. You're talking like a 2-year-old. You're like one of those guys in the well in the house last night. Make some sense to me. Go ahead, Zander.
Ramir, hit me with what you mean, all right? And I'll all right. Yeah. He says you don't watch movies. I don't. You're right. I don't watch movies.
LSD.
All right, here we go. Love you, Ramir. Appreciate you, bro. Philly Don just checks in. Big Sil's getting close to wearing Eagles shirts and becoming a fan. How you doing? Woo!
I'm a fan of what he's doing. That's for sure.
You know, yesterday, so we've been doing JAKIB now for 5 years. We're going to go on 5 years coming up here with
April
Big Sil's.
27th.
Yep. I got a comment yesterday on the channel. It's the first time in 5 years I've gotten this comment on the YouTube channel on a clip or a live show of the National Football Show. And somebody commented, holy shit, the Eagle pom-poms are out on this one. I've never had that comment on a Dan Sileo show in my life, ever. One came in yesterday.
That's so sad.
Philly Don. I know I shouldn't have told him that because now he's going to take those pom-poms and light them on fire tonight.
You know what, though, Zander? You can't deny what's going on. I know.
That's why I love you, because you're being real. This team does look good right now. They're doing everything right.
I'm not going to lie here, man. I'm going to call it as I see it. It's remarkable.
All right, here we go. Let's keep rolling. We got a lot of supers here. Muggsy checks in. What's up, Muggsy? Any thoughts on the kid Scene from that we got from Georgia? Yeah, Lewis Scene, safety. He was a great player at Georgia. I think he had a bad injury. He was drafted to the Vikings. I think he's a guy they're keeping in the pipeline, but I don't want to project him to. I don't know what I can project out of him.
How about this, dude? I don't see Cooper DeJean's replacement at nickel corner. I don't see him on your team right now. If you move him to cornerback,
yeah, I don't either.
I just don't see him. He's a special teams dude, right, yo?
Brian Fleming says, Sills was always a realist, including telling Stevie to shut the fuck up.
I'm going to get hammered for doing that, too, by the way, for telling my little doggy.
Matt NJ, what's up, brother? Do you think losing some vet leaders on the defensive side of the ball will our rooks develop locker room morale, trouble if adversity early? It's why I thought about it. It's why I said to you, bring back Slay and be
Matt, I'll tell you this. Let me tell you about something that I learned about an NFL locker room. I got to the Buccaneers after having so much success. I walked in that locker room and I saw the losing mentality. As soon as something went south, the entire locker room went south, and I got closed up in it. And so to what Zander was talking about, the leaders, he's talking about presence. You're talking about locker room presence, Zander. When there's a dude in the room that's been doing it for 15 years, right. Zander, I sat next to Ed Jones, and I watched Ed Jones there, who played 17 football seasons in the NFL, and I watched how he did business. I said to myself, fuck, man, I wish I started my career next to him. I tell you, I would have been a way better football player if I had been next to that guy right there. And I can't tell you how much of an influence that a guy like James Bradbury and also Darius Slay have been to Cooper DeJean and have been to Quinyon Mitchell. You can't underestimate the presence of a player like that or the presence of a player like Barkley that's in your locker room, because they exude that presence of confidence. I don't think it's something you can. I don't think you can stroke a check to that.
Yeah, I think you're the perfect guy to talk to about it too. I really do. I mean, I think that's great perspective by you. T-Bone checking in. What's up, T? Sills, we politely disagreed last week, but you just made a point I was trying to make. Milton is worth and deserves $80 million for 4 years. 4 years, Birds moves and decides $20 million less is the Mike Roof. As I asked, what is enough money?
Dude, wait a minute. He is going to go out in the market and get $20 million for a year for 8 years or for 4 years.
He's going to get more than that too.
He's going to sign a 4-year, $80 million deal. Probably get more than the guy in Dallas. T-Bone, I'm not going to sit here and debate what's enough for another man.
I could see 490, four for 90.
Zander, that's something that players and people don't do. I wouldn't tell you what's enough.
T-Bone, I don't disagree with you about the money. I disagree with you about the player. I don't think Milton Williams is as good as you're making him out to be. I think he's a great player. I don't think he's what made this defense work. I think he benefited tremendously from Baun and Carter, and I think you can replace him for a better price.
Yeah, but the market number is where it's at.
Well, he's going to get that, but that doesn't mean
because of the market. Because the market, not the production.
Another guy that I've been asleep at, all right, and I think many people are asleep at. I want to give credit to Jason A-Team in the chat. He has not been asleep on this guy, but from watching some of the tape back on the season so far in the offseason, Moro Jomo is like good. Like he's like, and he did it like a lot. Like he did 400+ snaps.
I've been talking about him all year.
Yeah, like he's good. Like I think we're good at Milton Williams. I don't think that he's irreplaceable at all. 20+ million for him is just
the only thing that I don't know is that I don't know he can be as versatile, where he can play in a 5, in a 3, and a 7. I don't know. Now, I don't know they haven't asked him to do that yet. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if I think the versatility is what he's going to be paid on. Okay? I do. I think he's been a productive guy. I think he's been a versatile guy. And if you think about it, Zander, look at that defense here. When you look at the Eagles, look how versatile each and every single one of those guys were.
You think they're going to ask Jordan Davis to be more versatile this year?
No, because they moved him to a less versatile position. Nose.
I know, but that's my point. Do you think without Milton now they're going to ask him to play more snaps and be a different type of defensive tackle?
He played his best season in a limited role playing nose. Why would you move into something he's shown you in the first 2 years he couldn't do? I know. Hey, I'm stuck with him too. Yeah. I don't know what to do with him. I don't.
I like him. I like him. Look, when you look at this roster and you look at eventually you're not going to be able to pay everybody. So I'm trying to find a way for Jordan Davis to warrant getting the paycheck. And I don't know if right now he's done that. So we'll see what ends up happening.
I agree with you. I don't think he can play the 3 technique.
T-Bone, thanks for your super, brother. We appreciate it. William Magro checks in. He becomes a YouTube member. Thank you, William. I appreciate you, brother. I love you. Thank you so much for the support. Harv checks in. Harv, what's up, Harv? Don't forget, when the Eagles went on the early 2000s run, they were notorious for locking up good drafted players to long-term contracts early to stay ahead of the cap. It's the same mentality. Yeah, but the levels of success are different right now, Harv.
I don't think the Eagles have ever had this success even under Andy Reid.
No, they didn't. They didn't. And they didn't maintain the roster as well as we are right now. There's no way.
You know what I think happened here? Let me tell you something. The difference between the Andy Reid era and this era for the Eagles, there was too much control by one man. But he was the coach. Now you have control with a guy who knows how to handle contracts, and you got a better guy. Howie's a better listener the second time around than he was the first time around, which makes him a better GM to Joe Banner. I just think he's more of and plus, you know what he's got in place? He's got Stoutland and Vic Fangio now in place that he can go to him. Plus, Nick is kind of like the overseer now of all this. I look at it and I go like this, and I go, hey, Vic, what do you think? Should we give him this money? I mean, I'm going to have to do this. I don't know if he phrased it that way, but Vic probably went like this. You know what you did last year? And I'm using your take. You gave me a bunch of dudes that were talked about as bust. Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, and you gave me this guy I didn't even know what to fucking do with, and Zach Baun. And I turned it into the #1 defense. You know what you can do for me? Bring my boy back that I developed with this guy, Bobby King.
Right.
Bobby King and all of us, we're all going to be all happy here. And guess what they did? You're right. I gave you nothing. I gave you Bryce. You even failed me on Bryce Huff. I know they're not talking like this, but I'm saying you even failed me on Bryce Huff. I turned the kid, and that Devin White guy, I didn't even bring him down to fucking Brazil with me. I want this kid. Okay. You got him.
I think you're right.
These guys, I don't think it's in that tone. I think these guys all love one another here, but I think there's mutual respect in the room now that you got really good talent. Dude, Clint Hurt, Bobby King, Vic Fangio, that DB coach, and then on the other side, you got Jeff Stoutland. And I'm telling you, man, I mean, you got a pretty good coaching staff right now, even with the loss of Kellen Moore.
Yep, no doubt about it. And my favorite part about Howie is I think Howie continues to get better even when people tell him he's the best. Like the last couple of years, like it's been pretty peaches and cream for Roseman. He's gotten a lot of accolades, a lot of love, and he continues to evolve. He doesn't allow himself to be put in a box, Sills. It was running back before. It was linebackers. It was drafting defensive guys. It was wide receivers. It was quarterback before that. Like, not even the latest doesn't pay linebackers. Well, he shattered that box open again today. He doesn't allow people to put boxes around him. He looks at what's best for the team. He gets better at his job every single year. Self-aware, great word, Yale. He's very self-aware, and he comes and gets better.
Okay, so the word is now, sorry, James Jones, if you're in here, you're going to hate this. If they can't find a dance partner for Jonathan Allen, they're going to cut him.
The Commanders?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I can play. I think he's going to be out of the Eagles' price range, though.
They're going to cut him.
What are you saying?
I'm
You're not saying pair him with Jalen Carter, are you?
Yeah.
I would trade Jordan Davis tomorrow.
I'm just telling you, okay, the word is now.
No, he's going to be too much, though. We can't pay him, bro.
If the Commanders cannot find a trading partner.
He's 32.
Two-time Pro – wait a minute. Depending on what the number is here. The two-time Pro Bowler, Jonathan Allen, is likely to be released over cost-cutting move. The veteran will have plenty of offers, and this is my friend Mike Silver. How much would you pay that guy?
I don't think we have. I'll tell
you this. I'd pay that guy.
Did you see what Max Crosby got today?
I did.
Jalen Carter's about to make so much. Jalen Carter's about to be the richest. So I don't think we can pay for Jonathan Allen. All right. I like the idea, but
how about Jonathan Allen next to Jalen Carter?
Give me Walter Nolan in the draft. How about that?
I like that kid from Ole Miss.
Walter Nolan with Jalen Carter. You're going to have a 4 or 5 year run of fucking exceptional.
Just listen to this, though. Listen to me. Jonathan Allen, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, your 2 linebackers, and that's your front 7.
Looks pretty good.
Dude, and if you're wait a minute, and if you're Jonathan Allen, would you do this? I'll sign for 10.
No, he won't.
He's 30.
Jonathan Allen, he wants to make money. I'm telling you, that ain't happening. That union's not happening. I'm calling BS on that right now. It won't happen.
How about hey, can you imagine if you signed Jonathan Allen?
Yeah, how many super chats did you miss? We got a lot to get to.
And, wait a minute, and Myles Garrett. Could you put Jonathan Allen and Myles Garrett on your front 4? Hey, dude, this is stupid. You know what? This is getting out of hand. I got to start being shitty again. I hate what I'm doing right now because this guy's got so many freaking options now. I'm talking Howie.
You're being real. You know that Howie Roseman's operating a master class right now. He is. That's what he's doing. He's operating a master class.
Read the fucking chat, will you please? He's
operating a master class. That's what's happening.
I love the kid. You're talking about the kid.
So Jihad next to Baun would be insane. He can play defensive end. I like him. So he's a Bama guy. I love him, but I don't think they're going down that road. I really don't. Can
you imagine if you put that kid next to fucking Baun, 6'3", 250 pounds, next to Baun, and you got that guy in the middle, dude? Do you understand? One cool move, you make this defense even better than a year ago.
Right.
Do you think he's going to upgrade the personnel on this defense this year?
Well, it depends what you're talking about. I think he's going to add another guy, add a bunch of guys in the draft probably. I don't think he's going to go and make a splash signing. I think, the business was in-house this year with Zack Baun. That got done, obviously, and there's a couple others now that are out there that, what do you want to do at cornerback? Well, what do you want to do with Isaiah Rodgers? What do you want to do, with Nakobe Dean and the backup linebacker there as your replacement if he can't go at the start of the year, but by the way, it might be Trotter. They might just slot Trotter up in there. I mean, eventually you're going to have to ask the young guys to play. So I don't think they're going to make like a huge splash, but maybe the Myles Garrett thing comes. I mean, dude, if they get – now that Baun has been signed, dude.
Opens everything up.
If Myles Garrett comes here, though, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Jonathan Allen next to you.
You think I'm calling it the golden era now. Wait till that happens.
Hey, Jonathan Allen next to
Carter. No, that's not as sexy as Myles Garrett. Stop.
No, it's not. I'll tell you what, though. That sounds awful good, too.
Yeah, I agree. Czar says second wave free agents. I'm not expecting a splash. I agree
No.
100%. 100%. I agree. Let's get to some more super chats here. T-Bone checks in. Can the Birds contractually offer number 98 a 4, 5, 6-year deal reward in season while still in rookie contract? I think it doesn't open until after his third year.
That's at the end of the 25 season.
Yeah,
after
so at the end of next season.
That's right. In January 8th or the 7th of next year, they can start that talk using the 5th-year option and pulling a Smitty deal. If that's what you're talking, T-Bone, they could put a Smitty deal together using the 5th-year option with an extension. He becomes eligible for that. Hey, one thing before you go into another super. Are you extending Cam Jurgens with that back?
I don't know. They better have a better read on that situation than I do, because that scares me, bro. I don't like that. Your starting center who's supposed to be locked in for years has a bad back. What the fuck do you mean he has a bad back? So I don't know. That one makes me a little nervous, but we'll see what they end up doing.
All right, let's go on a couple more here.
We got a bunch. I'm
oh, good. Okay.
Wayne Howie to the Hall. Every free agent with a clue wants to come to Philly. Yes, yep. Wayne. I love it. Sileo called it yesterday. And by the way, I have a short clip ready to be posted. I had to put it on the back burner after the Baun contract came down. But yes, Dan Sileo called Howie Roseman a Hall of Fame general manager. That happened on this program.
He's having a Hall of Fame.
No, don't renege now. That's not what you said. You said he's a Hall of Fame GM.
Yep. He's got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. JD3. Sills, it's crazy to think Trevor Keegan would be a late second, early third.
Yes.
Draft. He's a guy we got to keep an eye on. I don't know if
I told you that. Hey, JD3, I told you that last year in the draft. If he went in this draft, he'd be a second or third rounder this year.
We'll see what ends up happening. I do think he's going to be good depth on the offensive line. SR20 with $2. Thank you, brother. Blaine Minor, how can we get out of the Huff deal, Sills? I don't think they're going to try because they need that depth at edge. They're not going to.
Hey, Blaine, if they were, you would have to trade him, eat about 45% of the contract for the next couple of years for a team to want to give you something in return that you would want to move the player, like a 4th or 5th rounder. Right now, if you put Huff on the market for the current price he has, nobody's taking 17.5. But if you took half of that and it was a $6 million deal, somebody would bite and probably give you a 4 or 5 if you ate 40% of it. But just keep the kid on the team because, again, it's cap ramifications, and that's one thing they value a lot in Philly is cap space.
All right, here we go. Let's keep rolling here. Keep rolling. T-Bone. What's up, brother? Thanks for all the support today, T. We love you. So we went round and round last week about money. My thinking, if Milton sees what Birds are doing, is it possible Milton says, hey, I'll take 60 for 40 to stay? No. And no. T-Bone, why are you so infatuated with Milton Williams? Bro, think about this, T-Bone. Think about it this way. Think about the way the roster is paid right now, where everybody on offense is making basically buku bucks. You have a lot of guys on defense that aren't getting paid. You're going to have more contracts coming up in the pipeline. If you tell me there's a guy that's as good as Jalen Carter, which there is, that's going to get paid like he's going to get paid next year, resetting the market. The one spot that you say we can save money there is the guy that plays next to him. You're not paying Milton Williams. Even $15 million is too rich, brother.
I'm not paying Jordan Davis that.
Yeah, I don't know why. T-Bone, I love it. I just don't know why you're so infatuated.
No, because what he wants to do, he wants the guy to be grateful for him playing in Philly and playing next to Carter, and he wants him to be thankful and that he'll give him a hometown discount.
Yeah, I don't think you want to pay that. I don't think you need to overpay that guy.
Guys don't think like that in the league. Some do. Some. Hey, I'll tell you what, Zack Baun did because why? Grass ain't green. I'll tell you this. My question with Baun would be, hey, bro, if you go somewhere else, you think you're going to play the way you're going to play without Vic Fangio and the guys in front of you?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's a big gamble for him.
Agree. Leon Banks says, Washington is our biggest threat, second best NFL team. What? What? No, they are not. Leon, that is fucking insane.
I would say them in Detroit. Well, dude, you don't know what Washington's going to do. Hey, you got to give Howie what he's doing here. If they go out and land Garrett, bro, they land Garrett and they still have – they got $100 million in cap space and 10 picks.
I respect what the
They just went to the NFC title game. They went further than Detroit. They blew Detroit out in Detroit.
I respect what the Commanders are doing, but everybody was trying to tell me the same thing about the Houston Texans after CJ Stroud had a good year.
I'm not
just like you're saying, we'll see. You see on the other side too. They could regress a little bit, is all I'm saying.
Because they're a threat doesn't mean that they're a big threat.
He says here, second best NFL team. I'm saying bullshit.
Who do you think the second best team?
Still an AFC team. I mean, I think the Ravens are better. The Bills are better. I think the Chiefs.
No, in the NFC. Okay.
I think Detroit's better. Okay. I think even the Rams, by the way, I don't think they're better, but I think the Rams are going to be a sleeper team this year. They were a good team. They got Stafford back. Those young guys on defense are going to get better, and they're probably going to draft some good players as they have.
I'm with you on the Rams. I
think the Rams could be good.
Rams are good.
Could be good. Leon, Commanders, the second best team in the NFL.
Well, they were one of the final four teams.
They appear in one fucking game in 28 years, and everybody's like ready to hold them up.
And led by a rookie.
Huh?
And led by a rookie.
Yeah, which is a good thing, but it also means there could be a regression there.
Let's see what they do. I want to see what they do. I like Adam Peters. I like him a lot.
I do too. I do like Adam Peters.
So look, I don't think anybody's close to them right now.
He's no Howie, I'll tell you that. T-Bone checks in. T-Bone, thanks for all the support, man. We love you. If we give away enough draft picks for Garrett, is this doable? Then sign Baun, Milton, bring BG back, and use remaining draft picks and street to fill needs. Stupid?
Nothing stupid as long as you got Roseman in the room.
It's not stupid.
It's just too much.
And it's again, we're going backwards, so we're reading your comments in the wrong direction. But you keep bringing up Milton, and I keep telling you I don't really want the guy. I just don't think I don't think
4 years, $80 million. Get used to it. He's gone.
Yeah, he's going to be gone. So, but I look, T-Bone likes the player. I respect it. Martin Perez still sounds like Will Feller yelling at Steve.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I don't think Kansas City is the best team in the AFC right now. I think Buffalo and the Ravens are going to catch them this year because I think see what they did? They traded the all-pro guard tackle to Chicago today. They brought back nobody Travis Kelce this year. What are they doing? Dude, your old line got worse. I mean, they got no playmakers on offense. I think the Eagles exposed them because they don't have a run game. If you don't have a run game against Philly, you're not in the room.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw that stupid ass Mike Florio say in a podcast show with Andy Reid, it was 24-0. You know what he said? That game was kind of close early. And I'm like this. At 24-0, I almost turned the fucking show off because they were blowing them out so bad. That game was close on the coin flip.
Alex Petrosky checks in. What's up, Petrosky? Build Howie a statue.
Yeah, we got these. We got these now.
All right, cool. So we're back now to
All
right. Is there any we missed back here though? Like, did you get this guy hauling the goods? That tight end from Raiders. All right. I just want to make sure we got everybody because I think Elizabeth in the chat was saying we missed a bunch, and I was kind of
we got them. We
got some new ones though. We got some new ones.
Okay.
Pumper checks in. Okay, man, it's starting to get comical that we keep bringing up the Ravens in every contender combo. Hall of Fame expectation team every year. Well, they have a good GM there, obviously, Ozzie Newsome and that front office.
A really great organization and owner too. They've won a lot of ball games. I mean, they have
Lamar Pumper.
But man, I tell you, like I said, man, they the quarterback is too reckless of a player. He's got to be smarter, man.
There's something about knowing how to win in those games, and Jalen knows how to win those big ones, whether you like him or not. He knows. Hauling the goods.
Fifth. Go ahead.
What? Fifth what?
Fifth best quarterback in the league.
I'm looking at, I mean, talent-wise, maybe, but in terms of everything else,
it hurts.
It took 15 years for people to say Brady was the best in the NFL until they realized, hey, this guy's pretty fucking good.
You know what I used to always say? I go, how come Brady wins more games with nobody? And Peyton Manning's got Hall of Famers all over the room.
Yeah, exactly. I think Jalen Hurts is pretty damn good right now. I think he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and I have him not 3. Hauling the good. I would love to see how he draft Landon Jackson. His combine was insane. Now we're talking hauling the goods. I love that player from Arkansas. He's a freaking beast. And he'll fit right into that form with his bald head.
How's his tape?
Tape is good.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I'll check it out tonight.
It's good. It's good. All right.
I wonder what Marcus Hayes is going to say here too today, man.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I think he's going to say it's a Howie masterclass, but we'll see. Jason 18, what's up, brother? This has been a great offseason so far. It's only been, 3 weeks since the Super Bowl ended? Especially hearing Sills give Howie his flowers lately. It is incredible the work he's done the past few years. Can't wait to see what's next. Baun was a must. Becton. It'll be 3 straight days of breaking news on the National Football Show. Becton tomorrow. Come on, Howie. Come on. Get me Becton, baby.
All right. Get the fuck out. hey, man. Give me a break.
Also drafting Ty Robinson. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Let's get back.
It's Ash Wednesday. I have ashes on my forehead, and I'm dropping F-bombs. I mean, come on, Zander.
I know. That's
me accountable.
I know.
Somebody's got to hold me accountable for that.
Don't worry, my aunt will.
Your aunt should be holding me accountable.
By the way, Aunt Betty, he went to a Catholic school too, like your boy here did. So we're good.
Earlier in show and recently, you talk about player taking less money because of players around them, and Vic to have the best chance to win Super Bowls. Why can't we turn it around and apply to Milton? What if? How much better? Imagine same D and Miles.
Hey, T, leave that up to the agent and him. If he wants to do it, he'll do it. If he doesn't, he's going to grab the money and be in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Or New England.
Yeah. I saw Carolina too.
T, he may do that. That's what Zack did. But Zack's 28. This guy's 25. Milt Williams is 25 years old, dude.
Yeah, I think Milton's gone. I think Milton's gone.
Oh, I think Milton and Sweater gone.
All right, here we go. 2 more and we're done. Stay focused. Xander, dissect the commie salary cap and roster. That $79 million looks better than it is. They only have 22 players signed past 2026. They may have to cut Allen. Yeah, I stay focused. I haven't looked deep in their cap and roster, but I will do it. Let me just say this: stay focused. I know everybody's like, "Oh, they got that money and it traded.
95 million cap space."
I don't think they're gonna be as good as everybody's saying. Okay, that's my take on them right now. I might be wrong, but that's my take on them right now. Brian Pumper.
Let's see what they do in free agency now. Right?
Matt Golden is nice. He says, now we got Baun and more in tune with trading AJ for Miles. That Matt Golden kid is nice.
Did you hear what they got going up in New England? They've contacted AJ. They've contacted Howie Roseman all week long about trying to figure out how to get AJ up to New England for Drake May.
Dude, find another player in New England. Like we have the best GM in football. Go fucking.
What if they gave you the 3rd pick in the draft?
I don't want the 3rd pick in the draft. I want
Travis Hunter.
I want the championship roster over AJ Brown. I'm sorry, no.
Travis Hunter and Q playing your corners.
No, I don't care how crazy I sound. I don't want Travis Hunter over AJ Brown. No.
AJ Brown was what impact last year? His presence. For sure.
What impact was Travis Hunter last year? And how are you so sure he's going to be a sure thing in the NFL? He played at Colorado.
I'm not. I mean, the guy who was the impact player in that team last year was the guy they gave the 2-year extension to.
If I trade to the 3rd pick, I'm not taking Travis Hunter. I'm taking Abdul Carter. That's who I'm taking.
Actually, well, he's going 2.
All right, so you got to get a little higher. All right. I'm not trading AJ is my point.
I think he's going 2. Cleveland.
Blow it up for a guy that you know nothing about.
If you're getting rid of Myles Garrett, you're taking Abdul Carter at 2.
It's not happening. It's just funny conversation, dude. We got a lot of super chats today. We got to keep giving these people the love they deserve. Dio checks in. Goddard, 12 mil cap hit and 25 is added guaranteed money similar to AJ. Do you think Goddard plays on 1-year deal or extension with high incentive? That makes sense. Maybe a 1-year deal with high incentives, kind of like Josh Sweat did. Maybe.
Yeah, I got these right here. I got these ones right here.
This got sent like 10 minutes ago. I'm telling you right now, these are new ones. You keep misunderstanding me. A player has a choice to take all the money or decide to take less with much better chance to win Super Bowl. So money should not be the only reason for decision, in my opinion. Yeah, but T-Bone, that's every man, man. I mean, that's every man for themselves, right? Every man's going to value different things in their life that they take. I mean, I don't know. Right on the bench says, does JD become a trade piece for Miles? Potentially. Kimbo, Sills with Steve. Ma, get the meatloaf. Not
Mom,
the
meatloaf.
best content on the planet.
Yes.
Ramir, go watch Training Day. Then you'll find, then you'll from his dog. All right, I got it. All right.
Yeah.
You
All
both
right.
have an awesome evening. T-Bone, I love you, brother. I might have
T-Bone.
shared on your takes for Milton Williams, but I do love you.
Hey, T-Bone, make sure when you go to your boss, tell him thank you very much. I'll take a pay cut next week.
And then last one, Pumper says number 4 in Christian Gonzalez. I'm wet. Anytime you make a proposal that makes Brian Pumper excited, take that proposal and throw it in the garbage can.
That right there's a man card revoke. I'm wet.
Brian Pumper, if we had it Brian Pumper's way, we would have had no Super Bowl. We'd be in quarterback hell. We wouldn't have A.J. Brown anymore. We might have gotten rid of some Zack Baun. Brian Pumper is the worst general manager in the history of general managers. Pumper's still atop my Hall of Fame shit takes, brother. Now he's saying he's wet. Talk about a Diddy pause. That's a Diddy pause right there.
Hey, dude, very uncomfortable, Pump. I love you to death. Zander, keep killing it, man. By the way, what's the over-under that you think there's another deal tomorrow?
I don't know, man. I'm putting it at 50%.
Really? I was going to go a little higher, like 60-40.
You wouldn't be wrong if you did. We're going on 2 straight days here, so maybe.
I'm going 60-40 here, man. Holy shit, dude. I mean,
60-40.
Really, hey,
all right, everybody. I love you all in the chat. By the way, smash that like button for Big Sills. Come on, man. This show deserves a bunch of likes. The content Sileo has had the last couple of days. I hope people appreciate being able to listen to Big Sills talk. I listened to his segment when the Saquon extension came yesterday 2-3 times, and this is after listening to content all day long. So smash that like button for Big Sills. He's the best in the business. Appreciate you, Big Sills. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
Keep doing it. What is it? Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to kind of go down that Jalen lane there. Way to go, Zander. You're working your ass off. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Make sure you check out Birds 365 tomorrow morning with our boy Zander. Guy's killing it, man. Working his ass off. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Give me a total on where we are with our likes now. We're going to reset. Marcus Hayes from the Philadelphia Inquirer is going to join us at 5:30 Eastern. I cannot wait to hear from him. Also, we appreciate the fact that we have Morgan & Morgan on the program here. Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in America, with over $30 billion recovered. That is their track record, and that is their resume, and it is unmatched in the country. Make no mistake about it. I told you about the family in Pennsylvania. $650K they were offered. Morgan & Morgan and his team of thousands of attorneys went in and got $26 million for that family. A family in Florida. John told me that an insurance company came in and appraised it at $350K when it came to their settlement. No way, John said. Everybody went to work. They ended up getting that family in Florida $12 million. If you're ever injured, please do me a favor and check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free unless they win. For more information, go forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. That's FOR, thepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.